What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Payton's Huddle here on Payton Sports Net. Jarrett Payton here. It's only right that you show this right here. That's that real deal, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we're trying to get one of those. You got to get one of those. That's what we're all hoping for. We got great guests with me today. I'm looking forward to it. So we got Patrick, we got Dylan and Jacob, we got Alex, and we got my man Z on the top, man. All right, you guys, let's jump into it right now. Mitchell Trubisky struggling here and there early on in the season. Nick Foles comes in against Atlanta in that third quarter, and next thing you know, 3 touchdowns to lead the Bears back to a victory to get them to 3-0 on the season. I want to get each one of your takes on the switch at quarterback that Matt Nagy had to make, and are you game for it moving forward?
Absolutely the right call. I think Mitch had his time. If you look at the effect Foles had on the field on both sides of the ball, the defense kind of picked it up at the end of the game. They looked way more confident. And then Foles under center. Montgomery looked more confident. Miller had a few drops, but, I mean, the team looked like there was a whole new level of what the team could do. So I think Foles made it happen, and I think we should stick with him.
Alex, what's up, man? Give me your take.
Well, I think Mitch is kind of getting a raw deal just because I feel like Nagy maybe just doesn't want him, and that kind of sucks. But speaking only about the Foles situation, I do think it's the right call. He played way better than Trubisky did, just throws down the field to his receivers, letting those guys make plays. And we've got some playmakers. Obviously, Allen Robinson, extend that man as soon as possible, please. Anthony Miller, he's just up and coming. I have big expectations for him. And Jimmy Graham is playing like the Hall of Famer he is. I love it.
Dylan, Jacob.
Yeah, so I totally agree with the move Matt Nagy decided to make. I think now with Nick Foles, he's able to open up his offense that he kind of envisions it to be, being able to actually throw the ball downfield and hit his receivers, and giving these receivers a chance to catch the ball.
And Nick Foles he's always been a great backup, and it seems like he excels off the bench more than if he was the traditional starter. And I just feel like it's a great move for Nagy to move that offense forward.
Patrick.
I think you look at this team, and with the exception of maybe the offensive line, we've got playmakers in every position, guys that are ready to win. And we've been waiting years to see something come out of Mitch, and it just hasn't been what it was, supposed to be. We thought maybe a couple of years he would turn into the Jared Goff progression, but just didn't happen the way we wanted to. So I think with the squad that we've got right now, Foles is the right move. He's a proven guy. He can take teams to the playoffs, and let's see what we can get this year. I think let's ride Foles, and we'll worry about the future at another point. But this is a team that we can win with right now.
When it comes to Mitchell Trubisky, how do you guys think he handled being benched in that Atlanta game?
Handled it like a champ. You saw him on the sideline. He was obviously distraught, but it shows the kind of leadership and effect he had on the players. You got guys like Montgomery coming up to him saying, I got your back. You got Mac talking to him on the sideline. Shows how much of a leader he is. I think going forward, it's huge that he's still part of the squad. He's just going to lead with his actions now. Too bad he's not on the field, but there's a big role for him right there on the sideline, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he from everything I've ever seen, Mitchell Trubisky seems like he's a pretty good person, and the players in the locker room seem to like him a lot. I think it spoke a lot about, like he said, Khalil Mack walking over to him, who is, obviously the best player on the team, and kind of trying to pump him up a little bit. I'm sure it was devastating and heartbreaking, but I think he handled it about as well as a good teammate can.
I totally agree. I think he handled it in a situation where he wanted what's best for the team, and he wanted the team to win. I heard that he went up to Nick Foles and he said, "Yeah, I got your back here, just like how you had mine when I was named the starter." And I think he handled it perfectly.
Obviously, for himself, he wants to be the starter for his career, but like everyone has said, he handled it really well. He was talking to all of his teammates, keeping them up, and really help them win that game, even off the field.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been a question of character or effort with Trubisky. I think, when your coach says you're out, I don't know what else you can say. And I don't think making a big deal of it would have helped Mitch at all. So just glad that he let Foles step into the leader role of that team in that second half. And he just supported the team, and it was good to see.
All right, Alex, you and I are going to have a little beef here because I heard you say Max the best player on this team, but the dude I think that's most valuable on this team, we've all known needs to be extended, and that is Allen Robinson. The first 2 weeks of the season, we kind of saw him dealing with this contract extension, being vocal, taking the stuff off his social media. But he always, in those 3 games, he made plays when they needed him to make plays. But that game in Atlanta, not only when you needed him to make plays, when you needed him to ball out, that's what he did. Is it time for Ryan Pace to give this man that $18 million that he wants?
Yeah, it's well past due. He should have been extended as soon as possible. He's at worst a top 10 receiver in the league. I have him as a top 5. What have you done for me lately? How about be a Pro Bowl caliber player with Mitchell Trubisky throwing instead of guys like Aaron Rodgers or Matt Stafford or somebody like that?
Looking at the stats between his career in Jacksonville and Chicago, with Bortles and Trubisky, with the exception of that 1 year that he was out for the majority of the season, his quarterback's QBR has been an 82.98. I looked at that this morning. So looking at that on the stat list, that and the best season, the 82 was the 24th ranked quarterback, but really averaged around 27 to 29. So he's doing what he's doing with bottom 10, bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league. I think that Ryan Pace is going to regret not signing him sooner.
Now on to the next one, because where I come from, running backs. It's all about the running backs. They don't get enough love anymore in the NFL, man. Come on, man. This is like such a pass-happy league. We don't even want to pay these running backs anymore. But this dude, David Montgomery, man, you got to love what you're seeing second year of him, even though he's not getting the touches that I think he should be getting. But when the Bears need to be able to run the football, especially late in games, this guy is doing it. When they need to extend a drive and they need to run the clock out, he is doing it. But my thing is, he needs 20 carries a game, especially now, moving forward, to set up this play action. I want to get your guys' take on David Montgomery and what you've seen out of him in year 2.
He plays Chicago-type ball. He's a hard-nosed, blue-collar type of guy. Coming out of Iowa State, it's a gritty conference over there, so it's even more right that he's out in Chicago. The way he drives his feet when there's 4, 5 guys on top of him and he's fighting for the first down, it's unreal. He's so exciting to watch. He's so explosive. And, he's just waiting to, bust out a 40-yard run at, every play, I feel like. And then when they do bring him down, he just sends it right in again. He's got unreal energy, unreal hard-nosed blue-collar guy. I love it.
Yeah, when I look at him, I see a great all-around skill set. He's got great balance. He's got that explosive first step that you look for. He can cut on a dime. He might not have that top-end speed, but that doesn't really matter if you're breaking away from everyone. He's got, prototypical size at 220-ish. So he can run with some power, and he can catch passes. He's got a really good wide range of skills. I'd really love to see for him get a lot more usage in the offense for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely don't think he gets enough carries a game. It's almost every carry. On the first hit he takes, he breaks it. You rarely see him go down off the first guy. I think he should be getting at least 20, 25 carries a game. I think last week he only had, 14 or 15? And it's almost like he's splitting carries with Cordell Patterson, which, I like Cordell, but I don't think he should be getting as many carries as David.
The better thing is that he's doing this with an average O-line at best. Imagine what he could do if he had the Colts offensive line or something like that. He'd be rushing for 100, 125 yards a game, consistently, and that'd be amazing to see for this offense.
I think the carries will come. It's definitely hard to commit to the run game when you're down every fourth quarter, but he's a bruiser. He's top 10 in yards after contact. What does make me nervous, though, and less about him and more about the line, he's 13th in the league in yards, but he's 64th in yards before contact. So he's getting hit behind the line. I mean, you can see yards after contact. He's bruising. He always falls forward. I'd love to see running backs do that. And I'd be interested to see if the Bears will go after a Lamar Miller or somebody to help complement him in the pass game a little bit more.
All right. Defense, man. Defense wins championships, boys. We know that. We know what time it is. When it comes down to this Bears defense, we talk about the Bears organization. It is all about tradition and having a good defense. And when you look at this roster, the guys on this roster, on this defense, man, they have all the names. They have everything that you want. Putting it together, that always takes time. And it still feels like Chuck Pagano was trying to figure things out as well, especially early in games, you guys. I'm starting to see teams running on the Bears early on, and the Bears seem to tighten up on the defensive end of the ball later in games. Can they put together this week, going up against a good Colts offensive line and Phillip Rivers? That pass rush got better in week 3 in Atlanta. We saw what it can cause. It can cause turnovers. It causes, a quarterback to hurry up and throw the ball away. But can they do that against this good Colts offensive line, and can they get after Rivers in week 4?
Absolutely. I think Chuck Pagano's making a little bit of a homecoming here, going back to Indy. So he's gonna have to make a statement. I thought that Bears D looked so confident after Foles came in. It seemed like they had a little spark in them also. So I'm excited to see it. I think Rivers moves worse than Ryan does. He's a little slower. He's quick to release, but he's not so good on his feet. So that'll be interesting to see how Quinn could get involved in the game. I think he's got to make a statement also this week. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm confident. I think they can best this O-line, and Pagano can make a statement back home.
Yeah, I think the biggest key to this game is going to be Akeem Hicks. When he's on, he's as good as anybody in the interior in the NFL. If he can take up those blockers and create that inside pressure and free up the outside guys, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, then they can absolutely get pressure even against a great offensive line, because that's what talent does.
The thing I'm a little worried about is this run offense with the Colts, with Jonathan Taylor in their line. We didn't look that great against the run last week against the Falcons. I know our pass defense, we can play good and shut down this Colts offense. I just hope that our run defense takes that next level and the next step.
I think a key for this Colts game is going to be rushing Phillip Rivers, because lately his decision-making while throwing the ball has been subpar at best. He's been a turnover machine, like ending last year and with the Chargers, and then now this year with the Colts. I think rushing him is going to be the best idea, and put it on the run and get Jonathan Taylor tired, and that's when we kind of clamp up their offense.
Listen, Zach, Alex, Dylan, Jacob, Patrick, I appreciate you guys for joining Payton's Huddle, man. Thank you guys for sending in your emails. Thank you for jumping on with me, giving me a little bit of time. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk with Bears fans. You guys are family. And thank you guys for checking out PaytonSportsNet.com. That is the joint. That's where we're at. And that's where we're live with all the content. Appreciate you guys. We will see you guys next week for Payton's Huddle. Thank you for watching. As always, we were here, and now we're gone. Peace.